And we are live here at World Crypto Con. All the doors are shut. They've kicked us out of everywhere, but we still have the big sign here, and we're doing our interviews. We're meeting the people. We're bringing the message out. I have with me here Žiga Drev. Yeah,
correct.
That's right.
Žiga Drev.
He's from Slovenia, although, you're still in Slovenia. And you were one of the speakers or sponsors?
Yeah, correct. Speakers today. I did a presentation tomorrow panel together with MasterCard, Samsung representatives. It's a very fine conference and a very fine city to be in. It's my first time in Vegas.
It's your first time in Vegas. It is pretty awesome. When did you get here?
I flew from Croatia, and it's been over a day flight altogether. Frankfurt, Seattle.
There's not many direct flights. There's not many direct flights.
No, there are no direct flights.
There's none. Well, I was just in Vienna. We did our last Washington Elite Summit in the palaces of Vienna. It was like finding a direct flight from Vienna was pretty tough. So we got routed to Kiev and this and that. But anyway, so you were the managing director of OriginTrail.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about OriginTrail.
Correct.
And then what brought you across the pond to the World CryptoCon, the biggest, baddest crypto conference to ever come to Vegas?
It's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. With OriginTrail, we are increasing transparency in supply chains.
Okay.
And the reason for us being here is because we're also using crypto, blockchain, to improve that transparency. Now, mostly talking about what are the potentials of blockchain and crypto for improving supply chain transparency, and also what are the obstacles. And these are the topics that I'm covering today and tomorrow in a panel. We've been in this space for 10 years, nearly a decade. Initially, we didn't use crypto, we didn't use blockchain because that was 2010. We were too young. Also, Bitcoin was quite young. And now it's becoming a very important topic. You see IBM, you see Oracle, you see big companies like Walmart being part of the space. We're actually also part of Walmart's innovation pipeline. We got there in China back in 2017. We also have partners here in US, UK, like British Standard Institution. So we're working with bigger, smaller companies. We work with farmers. We work with pharmaceutical companies, standardization bodies. In a mission to improve transparency, to improve trustworthiness of the products that we exchange, which is eventually going to impact environment, people, your wallet, the way your wife is going to be happy or unhappy about the product if you buy her
the important stuff.
It's not authentic. That is not made of gold.
Right.
So supply chains are an important topic, and involving blockchain makes a lot of sense. It's 2/3 of the world's GDP that is being generated by supply chains. So it's a very impactful thing that we're doing.
Well, it's one of the greatest use cases even that you can talk about with blockchain, and it's one of the things, of course, there's certain aspects that you can put together and be like, well, it's hard to implement that, or this and that and the other. Of course, history would be another one. Hard to implement maybe, but this and that and the other. But supply chain is, it's so important. You can follow things. Let's talk about the meat. We'll talk about the diamonds. We'll talk about, all these types of things. So I understand you guys have been in the business for a decade. When did you start into the blockchain? And then, do you have your own token?
We do have our own token.
Okay.
So our beginnings of using blockchain go back to 2015-16, when we applied Ethereum public network for some of our clients, and we figured out that it's not scalable for a business, not transaction, but actually data exchanges.
Right.
Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, and other mainnets were made to, for transactions to be recorded in their ledger. However, when you want to establish connectivity in supply chains, you need to describe events that have transpired. So you need large data sets. You need to involve some IoT data coming from sensors. So we're talking about large volumes of data. And then we saw that blockchain on a standalone level is not directly useful for supply chains. And that's the reason why we started building layer 2 scalability protocol called OriginTrail protocol, which is open source solution. Anyone can use it, and it's being in use by S&P 500 companies like Avery Dennison. We're also using the network that is sitting on top of blockchain for various purposes. So we do use our own token, which is called Trace token. I think it's a very nice connection with traceability.
Right.
It's traded on many exchanges, but what's most important, it's a utility token. It's being used by the companies that are exchanging data using our network.
Nice.
So we're building utility and building value of the ecosystem, not based on hype or speculation. It's based on real facts, real business, and supply chains are business that go back to Stone Ages. So.
Right, right. So I like I said, interesting project, and you guys have a lot of good stuff in 2015. I mean, shoot. So and the tokens traded on quite a few exchanges. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So how did you did a panel today and a talk, or just the talk and the panels tomorrow?
I did talk panels tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. How did the talk go? What do you think?
I think it went really well. I think audience is very perceptive to things.
Well, it's a very educated audience.
Yeah.
Right?
People mostly talk about decentralized finance. We're coming from a slightly different angle. Although supply chain is a different side of the same token, of the same coin.
Right.
It's supply chain and finance. If you put those two together, you are covering every aspect almost of human life. Yeah. People were very they respected the topic. They like the supply chain angle, and I think the topic is gonna go big in the next years. It's not only going to be about decentralized finance. It's going to be about uses of crypto and blockchain in other spheres of life.
Yeah, I tell you what, with China coming in big too. I mean, we've been at this verge. I mean, it's just growing. Just where you hit the mass, the mass point where it really goes. I mean, it's involving every aspect of their transactions and business and everything else. So the future is so bright for us. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Žiga Drev. Žiga Drev. What's the web?
It's a very exotic name for this place.
It is exotic name for this place. I'm usually pretty good about it. So what is the website? What's your social media? How do people get a hold of you guys?
Get in touch via OriginTrail.io, via Telegram. We have our own channel. Take a look at our GitHub. We have lots of code which is constantly being updated. Twitter, LinkedIn, basically every mainstream channel. This is where you can find us.
Awesome. All right, Žiga Drev, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, Bruce.
Appreciate it. See you soon.